Hi designers, and welcome to episode 3. Let's animate a navbar. First off, of course, your export from Figma or Sketch to Principle. As always, I'm going to start by selecting my artboards and then go to Principle and import selected artboards. If you've watched episode 2, then you've seen me do this before. Like when I'm animating a Tabbar, I'm going to start grouping my navigation items together. And again, here I have two states for every navigation point, a black and a purple one, an active and an inactive state. Or let's say the clicked state and before click state, however you want to call it. So I'm going to group coffee break purple and coffee break black in a folder together and do the same for lunch break and happy hour. By convention, in the web, navigation bars or items are always placed on the top, while on the phone, it's the opposite, it's the other way around. A tab will always be on the bottom, so it's in thumb's reach. In the browser, we go from top down, as also all the browser tabs are on the top. How you do your organization in principle is really up to you. I just really like to rename everything to keep my overview. And yes, of course, you could also have done that file organization in Sketch or Figma beforehand. I just wanted to include it in this video, which is why I'm doing it in principle. For the navigation, I was feeling fancy, so I added a little line here because it permits me to add a bit of effect later on when we animate. Now that I'm done, I'm moving everything I need to the first artboard and delete the 2 and 3 because I don't need them anymore. And I will end my file preparation with my final step, which is creating a component out of everything that's on my first artboard. Next, I'm going to move inside my component, select Edit Component, and go ahead and duplicate my first artboard 2 times. So I have 3 identical artboards, and then go ahead and rename them page 1, page 2, page 3, and using the opacity, recreate the 3 page navigation states that I have designed in Sketch or Figma. Here, all I need to make sure is that on the coffee break page, the coffee break navigation point is selected, so purple and underlined, and the other ones are black, so still active. Same for artboard 2 and 3, of course. Wherever I go, I can do some little tweaks, adjust the line width, for example, so everything is just the way I want it to be. And just a quick remark on that line. As you may have noticed, it's the same naming on all 3 artboards as we duplicated them, so we can be sure that's really identical. That means Principle will help us here with auto animating. So this line will just magically move later on. Spoiler alert, to see that we have to animate first. So let's go ahead and animate. To animate, select your navigation item folder. In my case, it's lunch. Click the little lightning button, select tab, and drag the arrow to the artboard of your destination. For lunch break, that will be 2nd page lunch break. For happy hour, the 3rd page happy hour. And do the same on the other navigation point, and if you also have 3 pages that you can navigate like me, then you're going to have 6 animations in total. The animations are represented by those arrows above your artboards. You can also go in there and fine tune and customize later. So maybe that's good to know. Yay! And you'll see the line moving now magically thanks to Principal and Auto Animate. And that's already a perfect page switch. If you're happy with your animation, you can skip forward to the export. What I'm going to include next is a little fancy hover effect, so stick with me if you also want to check that out. To make that happen, I'm going to create single components of my folders here for lunch break, happy hour, and coffee break, and create component selecting the black and the purple version of each. Now, inside the components where we will make the magic happen, in there you will want to duplicate your artboard, set the black to 100, the purple to 0 on the first, and vice versa on the second. So on the first you see black, on the second you see the hover state, purple in my case. Now we'll animate, and this time you will take hover inside as your animation and connect artboard 1 to the second, and then select hover outside and connect artboard 2 back to the first to create a loop. And voila, in your preview you have your hover effect working. Well done! This will of course also work on your first level. However, by creating a component, you kind of deleted the tab animation that you created before. So let's reconnect lunch break to artboard 2. Make sure that in your preview, both the hover and the tab work. Now we have to just repeat that everywhere else until we have all the hover states and connections that we want for our final recording. Beautiful! Once you're done animating, give your preview a deep check to see if all the links are working as you want them to. When you're ready, hit that record button and get ready for export. In this case, you will want to switch from touch to arrow because it's a web view. It's a web view in the end. As always, I'm going to set my size to 100% because then I have a bit of a lighter package to send out to people. Congrats on your Navbar animation! See you next time!